Comrade Lante Oriaki. Like us, follow us, and be the first to know. This is the Comrade Show.
Yes. Our teamy viewers all over the world, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are watching us from this sunny 10th day of July 2022. You are welcome to your darling program, your favorite show, The Comrade and Friends, this Sunday. The one our pharmacist in-house comrade has nicknamed the Sunday Tonic. Today, you are welcome to the show. We have a special guest in our midst. But before I do that, I just want to remind us, you know the drill. Please share this program, share it on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, all our social media handle. Don't enjoy this show alone today. So in the first part of today's program, we're going to be discussing with our special guest on a key issue, key human issue, key human discussion, a key subject that many of us cannot really run away from. And then in the second part, we'll be going political to discuss the recent political development as far as Nigeria is concerned and the road to 2023. But in this first part of the show, we're going to be looking at the subject of marriage and the nuptials and all that surrounds it. Anyway, without much ado, let me introduce my fellow musketeers in the house and our guests. So first of all, I want to introduce our CNC, Comrade Lamte Ponsa Oriaki. Comrade, greet your people.
Thank you very much, Comrade Dr. Tony Agbansawa. Yes, Nigerians across the world, greetings to you all. My name is Comrade Lamte Ponsa Oriaki. I'm glad to be here and I'm glad to welcome you all. Please, let's share this broadcast. It promised to be very, very interesting. And of course, we're going to learn a lot from our guests. Yes, I will not let the cat out of the bag. Tony's going to handle that. But let's do the drill. And the drill is let's share and get the numbers together. Yes. Over to you, Dr. Agbons.
Thank you very much, Comrade. I want to introduce my fellow musketeer as well, Comrade Pharmacist Remiran. Pharmacist, let's say hi to our people.
Thank you so much, Dr. Tony Agbons. It's always a pleasure to be in your company every Sunday. I want to say good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to our viewers out there, wherever you are in the globe. It's your darling program, The Comrade Show. And like Dr. Tony Agbon said, you know the drill. Please share, and share. Today promises to be very, very important, and it will be good because we have a big elephant in the house. We'll be talking about these very pertinent issues. I must also say that Dr. Tony Agbons and CNC, with your cap today, you are looking absolutely take away. No doubt, you are efficiently obedient. My people agree to my cacabolically.
Thank you very much for that, your cacabolic greeting. Indeed, we have a big elephant in the house. We have a quintessential Nigerian, somebody that really does not need introduction. I know many of you will know her. She's here. She's our special guest. So please let me do the honor to introduce our guest today. She is a renowned life coach, a counselor, a well-being advocate and facilitator, an author. She's based in the United States of America, or from the land of Joe Biden in the US of A. I'm talking of no other person than our sister, beautiful, elegant Dr. Olubusola Oluwaferomi. She's here with us. Dr. Olubusola, greet our people on the Comrade Show and worldwide. The mic is yours.
Good afternoon. It's afternoon in the US. Good afternoon, everyone. Good evening in Nigeria and in London and all over the world. I greet you. I salute everyone. I hope you're having a nice Sunday. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, ma. You are welcome to the Comrade Show, this segment we call the Comrade and Friends. So without wasting time, we'll hand over the mic to pharmacist Austin Iremiran to ask our guest the first question.
Thank you so much, Dr. Tony Agbons, for that honor. Just to remind our guests again, the question and answer session today will not just be, the questions will not just be coming from only us. The lines will be thrown open for us to ask this quintessential and enigma lady this beautiful question. I will just go straight. I want to take the question for the topic of today. Dr. O, as you are fondly called, is marriage really a scam? Who is the maga and who is the payer?
That's a funny question. That's funny the way you put it. Marriage is not a scam. It is what it is, and it is how you make it. It could be a scam, and it could be something special that you feel like you're living heaven on earth. So it's how you want it to be, but it's not a scam. Marriage is not a scam, no matter what. However, how we look at it, it is not a scam. God created a very beautiful thing. So we have been the one that bastardized it, and what we get from it is how or what we put in it. Marriage is not a scam.
Very, very good answer there. That was a good question. Now,
Yeah.
Dr. O, that is how we all call you.
Yeah.
If marriage, we agree that marriage is not a scam, what then would you say is responsible for all the storm, all the earthquake that takes place in marriage? Divorce rate is high, abuse is high, domestic violence. In fact, in Nigeria, we just had one recently with Osinachi. God rest her soul. So what is responsible? What would you attribute to it?
What is responsible is, like I said, how and what we make it to be. When God said, Adam, I'm going to give you a helper, God had a good intention. Because, people keep saying, we even started marriage. Go and read your Bible. I'm a Christian, so I'm going to be coming from that angle. That's all I know. That's who I am. So from God's perspective, he saw that Adam was alone. He was doing it all by himself. And he said, okay, I'm going to create a helper for you. So God created Eve from Adam. That's what we read in the Bible. So how then did we get here? I was talking to some friends yesterday. The rate of divorce is really, really high. The younger ones don't want to get married. The ones that are married just don't feel it. So it's how you get married. And for me, my mission now is to teach people before you even get married. If you're going to have a lifetime marriage, some of our parents, we can see now that some of them were not even comfortable or happy in that marriage. They stayed in it. I will not advise anyone to do that. That's not my point. But they knew the importance of being together. They knew the importance of marriage and family. So hopping out or hopping in, they took marriage very, very important. The way they married back then, the story that my mother told me, you want a wife, you go to the next village, you ask people around, you ask about the family, you get to know who the person is. You just don't pick somebody on the internet. I teach my singles class. Do your own FBI, do research about that person. I'm a 51-year-old woman. I'm single now. You'll be like, okay, she's a counselor. Yeah. The way I love, it breaks my heart when I see people suffer just because you are in love with somebody or just because you're with somebody. You don't have to suffer. It's supposed to be a very, very beautiful place to be because that's what God created it to be. So what then went wrong? The way we marry is what went wrong. How we get married is what went wrong. Every one of us is what went wrong. When I'm talking about domestic violence, it's not always the perpetrator. Most times, the family, oh, your wife hasn't given you a child, then the husband comes home misbehaving. So when we look at it, every one of us has contributed to where we are right now. So if it's going to be better, then every one of us has to start making it better. We all are part of this. Nobody, the church, the mosque, even if you're a traditional person, all of us has a say in this. So that's what went wrong. Yes.
Thank you, Dr. Lobusola. Comrade Lamte Oriahi.
Yes. The only thing I want to ask you is, for young people who are looking to get married, and probably for those who are staying married, what is the purpose of marriage? What should people be looking out for in marriage? What is the essence?
The essence of marriage, you're not supposed to lose your identity just because you're with somebody. You're not supposed to lose your identity just because you're in a marriage or a relationship. God brought Eve to be a helper for Adam. Eve is a whole person. Our own purpose was to come and help that man, right? She was supposed to help that man, but not lose herself in the midst of with Adam. I mean, let me just come back to the 21st century. A marriage is supposed to complement you, not complete you. And I think we get it wrong most times. We think, oh, when I'm married, I'm complete. No, you're not complete. That person is supposed to complement you. So for me now, I talk a lot about purpose. Before you get married, we can all just quickly get infatuated and be in love, and then you forget your senses. Don't forget your senses. Do everything right before you fall in love. Do everything right before you lose your senses. You have to know your purpose. I mean, it took me long to realize this. But if you are not married yet, or if you're still in a marriage, it's better if you're still single. So I'm telling the singles this one, because for a married person, some of us, it may be late to do this. If you're planning to marry, or if you're single, please know who you are. Discover yourself first before you go into that relationship. Know your purpose first before you go into that relationship. So, okay, I'm in love with Kunle. If Kunle does not believe in your purpose, that marriage may never work out fine. You just be tolerating each other. Why? Because he doesn't believe in what I do. If I'm with a man now and he doesn't believe in what I do, it will conflict. It's going to be a conflict, because I'm going to be struggling in that marriage, because I still want to be who I am. And that's how and why a lot of us, we lose our identity. We lose our sense of who we are, because, okay, my husband believes in this, it doesn't support me, or my wife doesn't support what I do. That's no way you can strive. That's no way you can be happy, because there's something missing. You're not living your purpose. So if you're single, before you really fall in love, because by the time we lose our senses, you just want to get married anyway. Even sometimes when we know that this is not right, but because, oh, I've wasted time, I've spent time, I've put a lot in this relationship, you just want to get married. Or people are telling you you're too old, you're getting old. Who determines what age? The moment you're an adult, you're an adult. If you're gonna think about marriage in the Bible, they were young people, they were youths, they were teenagers. Now you're an adult, so do it right. Don't be pushed. Don't peer pressure, family pressure. No, know who you are, what you want to be. Think about 10 years. Is this man still going to be relevant in my life? Think about 15 years. Is this woman still going to be relevant in my life and in my purpose? If your answer is no, don't make that mistake. And if you are already in a marriage and you're thinking, okay, this is not working, well, I'm not saying go get a divorce. You can do things right. Call each other. Let that man know, let that woman know, you know what, I'm not living right. This is not what I want to do. I tell my adult friends, go back to school if you have to. You wanted to be a nurse, but because you got married and then you forget about school, go back to school. I still finished a school last year. I was 50. I graduated a school last year. Go back and revisit what you've always wanted to be, who you've always wanted to be. If you're not living as who you want to be, trust me, that's not where you can be happy with somebody else. And I think that's a common mistake that people make. I just want to get married, or I'm already married, I'm just going to keep being a mom, women especially. Then you're not living your life, then you're depressed, you're on medication. The man is living his life. You're not building a man and then leave yourself. I told somebody yesterday, I said, standard have changed. I'm not blaming this man because she thought I should be on her side. I said, no, I'm not on anybody's side. I'm your counselor. So I'm not on anybody's side. You've come to me for clarity. The clarity is you stayed home. Your husband was going to school. Now this man has a PhD. You're still right there. You have not moved from 1 inch from how you both started. Standard have changed. It doesn't see you on its level again. It cannot relate to you on its level again. It doesn't see you. You have not improved an inch. So now, is he supposed to do that? No, level have changed because that purpose have shifted. You're no longer on the same page. So before you get married, before you say I do, think about it properly. Don't think about now. Don't think about, oh, I'm infatuated with somebody or I'm in love. Think about, you know what, there are some things love cannot fix. That's the fact. So think ahead. And that's what a lot of people don't do. Think far ahead. Am I still going to be relevant in this person's life? Is this person still going to be relevant in my own life? So that's the bottom line. That is my own opinion for the bottom line.
Thank you very much, Dr. Lobusola, for that very elaborate answer. Pharmacists, I will come to you now. Take the mic, sir.
Thank you very much, Dr. Tony Agbons. I like what Dr. O has just said. Marriage should complement you and not complete you. I think that's very important. Marriage should complement you and not complete you. Thank you so much for that explanation. But going through what you said, I think you consider process to be very important. Because it's the process of getting to marriage that you are trying to hammer on. I just want to ask, what is the role of truth and communication in marriage before and after?
There's no marriage without communication and without being truthful. I'm a very, very honest person. I'm very, very blunt. I don't care how you think about it, but my truth is my truth. I don't lie because I think you work harder to lie, because when you tell one lie, you keep lying to just cover up one lie. So be truthful. I tell single people, be truthful. Let this person know exactly who you are. If he or she is still going to be with you, they will be with you. I don't want to be in a marriage for 5 years and then realize that you have a child that I didn't know about. That's being truthful. I don't want to be in a relationship and then find out from somebody what you should have told me. That's being truthful. Communication is very, very important. You cannot have a successful relationship, even ordinary friendship. I talk a lot because of my job. Ordinarily, I'm a very quiet person. You may not believe that. But when it comes to talking, oh my God, I cannot hide my feelings. I'm feeling it. I'm letting it out. So I don't harbor anything. I'm not on any medication just because I don't want somebody's problem to be hanging, to be sitting. I can't even go to bed when I'm angry with you. And I think that is very, very important. Talk about it. It doesn't matter, whatever it is. If that person loves you, if that person cares about you, they should be happy that you're telling the truth. They should be happy that you're talking about it. Talk about any issue. There should be no limitation to what you talk about when you are in a relationship. Call that person. Talk 20 times a day. You know what? I just realized something. Talk about everything. That's friendship. You build your friendship from communication. Love doesn't last if you cannot communicate. It's just going to be like you light a fire and it just blow up and then it will die. Something must, constantly be what's the word to use? You must always wet your flower. How do you wet your flower? Water. Communication should be that thing in any relationship, either you're married or not. Very, very important. We cannot outrule that, and we cannot emphasize that enough.
Thank you, Doc. Pharmacist.
Yeah,
Go
thank
on
you
with
so much. Thank you so much, Dr. O. A friend once told me.
You have a caller. Do you want to take a call?
Yes,
Yeah, let's
please.
take the call.
We take the call.
Hello. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, hello.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. What's your name and where are you calling from, please?
My name is Loretta. I'm calling from Peterborough in the United Kingdom.
Go ahead, madam.
I want to say well done to your speaker today, Dr. Olubusola. My question is simple. She said, wet your marriage, wet your relationship. What are the situation where one party is wetting, and even becoming waterlogged, and the other party is not shifting ground? What happens in that situation? Because I expect that in this wetting, two people should water the garden, isn't it? But when one partner is the one doing all the work, how do we handle that kind of situation, please? Thank you.
Thank you for calling Miss Loretta. It's not gonna work. When you don't wet that flower, it's gonna die. So when it's two people in a relationship, they say it takes two to tango. There's no way a marriage or relationship can survive if you're the only one trying. You will get tired of trying. You feel like the other person is taking you for granted. So I always tell people, I have a lot of Africans as clients. They don't believe in counseling. They don't believe in therapy. How are you going to survive a relationship when the other person is giving and giving and giving and giving? She or he will get drained. You will get drained. You will get burnout. You resent that person. Most people, you will see a lot of adults in their 50s getting divorced, in their 60s getting divorced. Why? She has tolerated him for too long, or he has tolerated her for too long. Now the kids are grown, they're out of the house, you have an emptiness, it's just the two of you, you have absolutely nothing in common again. The kids that you were using as the bait, they're gone, they're adults. So it's like, you know what? I'm gonna get divorced. Why? Because they don't know each other again. It's like two strangers living in a house, and that's what it will result to. If you have problem, you have problem, talk to each other. If you cannot solve it, that's why we have moderators, that's why we have counselors, that's why we have coach. Please invest in yourself. Just take a little money from that money that you waste or you spend to invest in your marriage. It is very, very important. Sometimes if you cannot sit down and talk, somebody else can help you mediate that, and cushion that. I mean, it's never too late. And sometimes people don't know, like, I'm doing this. I told somebody, talk to your husband. And she told the man, like, you know what, you make me feel like a slave in this house, just serving you. And for the first time since they've been together, she never said anything like that. He didn't know that's how he's making her feel. That's communication. And that's like, okay, that's a man that is ready to make amends. That's a man that is ready to keep his relationship. Most times it doesn't work like that. But if he or she is not on the same page with you, if you're the only one watering, you will get burnt out. I don't have any answer to you except go fix it. Talk to him. Let's get counseling. Let's do something about it. However, whatever you think he is making you feel, let him know about it. If he doesn't want to make amends, if he doesn't want to work on it, it means it's done. Because if you still want this relationship, then you would want to help me, want to help us to make things happen, to do something differently. If the answer is no, trust me, it's no more into you, she's no more into you, it's done or she's done. That's it. It's as simple as that.
Thank you. Pharmacist Ramira, you were going to thank you.
I was just going to have a quick follow-up because I asked the question about communication and truth. It's often said that truth not told before marriage suddenly become lies after marriage. And I think Dr. O clearly pointed that out. But Dr. O, I want to ask you, some people will also argue, if our parents ran away from their marriage, many of us will not be here today. Is there no space where you have to endure for the sake of marriage? And then, because you cannot totally have all at the same time. Everybody will not just come with their demand and say their demand will hold. So how will one manage with such challenge?
You want to take the call?
Yes.
Or the call is gone. Go ahead.
The call is gone. Yeah, Dr. O.
Okay, he said, you tolerate each other to a certain point. I'm an advocate for domestic violence. There's supposed to be a boundary.
Yeah, go on, Dr. O. We'll take the
Okay.
call. Yeah.
Okay, there's supposed to be you set boundaries. Like that's something you don't want to cross. I mean, my parents, I grew up with two beautiful souls. They were so much in love, but trust me, my father made mistakes that we the children know that is still affecting us now. But you know what I saw? They never disrespected each other. They love each other in spite of whatever mistake my dad made. Maybe in this generation, some women will not take that. You understand? But I always tell my clients, even when you think divorce is the next thing, no. Think about, does this man still respect you? Does this woman still respect you? Is this person taking you for granted? Is this person ready to make things work? Is this person ready to listen? You make your list. You make your list. It's not because he impregnated somebody, then the next thing I want to divorce. No, you don't do that. You can, unless the man just makes you feel worthless about who you are. As long as this person respects you, divorce is not the next thing. Some divorce, I have clients that will be regretting, like, oh, I should have stayed. I should have done something. Simple go for counseling can help a lot of marriages. Simple get a coach can help a lot of destiny. Don't just opt out like, I can't take this. What can't you take? You have to sit down and know like your limits. I don't support abuse. I have zero tolerance for abuse. If I'm in a relationship now, the way you talk to me, if you cannot respect me, I can't do that. Because if we're not married yet and you feel like you want to make me feel worthless about who I am, I can't do that. So I'm not talking about that. As long as that person respects you as a person, loves you, men make mistake. I tell women all the time. You know what? Even women of this my generation, where we need help too. So it's not always about the men. So you both need to sit down. If you can still communicate and still, respect each other, don't just opt for marriage. If you know it's a big deal, get somebody to help you. Then after all that, you can mediate, you can tolerate each other. Well, don't kill each other. Just separate amicably. That's my own opinion.
Thank you very much, Dr. O. Comrade, I will come to you, but I want to ask this question. Okay. This phone has been ringing. We take the call.
Hello.
Hello?
Yeah, hello.
Hello?
Hello, I can hear you.
I want to ask the guest a question.
What's your name and where are you calling from, sir?
My name is Marco Bebo. I'm calling from United Kingdom.
Where in United Kingdom, if we may know, sir?
Peterborough.
Go ahead, sir.
Okay. Madam, thank you for your answers. I wanted to ask, when does it become necessary to have a divorce? When does it become necessary to have a divorce? Because you keep saying no divorce, nothing. When does it become necessary?
I did not say no divorce.
That's
I'm
my
just
question.
saying, I didn't say no divorce. When does it become necessary? You know what? We're different. We're all wired differently. What I can take and tolerate, somebody else cannot take it. And what somebody else, sometimes when client tells me stories, I'll be like, I'm a very, very patient person. I can't take that. So you both have to know where you're coming from. You both have to know what you can tolerate. You know, abuse kills the soul, not just the body. It kills your soul, because most times people expect to see black eye and okay, my cheek is big and they know somebody has given me a slap. No, the most common abuse are not the physical ones, the emotional, the mental, and all that. By the time you cannot function, you know, I hear stories sometimes, my body just cringe like, what? How can you treat a human being like this? Not to talk about somebody that you think you love, because I don't, that's not love. So getting a divorce would be like, okay, you have tried some means. You have tried to let this person treat you as human being. You have tried to let this person, you know, treat you like you love me or care about me. So I can't really say this is when you say no, I can't do anymore, because your story is different from mine. You understand what I'm saying? But the moment you both feel like you're not useful to each other, because sometimes some things that partners do to each other is like, you still think this person is useful or is important in your life. This is not how to treat a human being. Even people that have dogs, I'm not a pet person, they treat their dogs like nicely with love. So I cannot tell you categorically like, you know what, when he starts slapping you, because I know a man cannot raise his hand and slap me now. You will not slap it the second time. It's not possible. If I'm caught off guard, you won't try it with me the second time. You can't beg me. You cannot apologize. No, one time is enough for me, for abuse, for violence. Some people are living in a marriage that they beat each other every day. Children are running away from home because, I mean, they can't do that, or the children are used to it. The cycle continues. He has his own girlfriend now. He thinks that's how a man should treat a woman. She's in a relationship now, the boyfriend is abusing her. She think it's normal because her mother has been showing her like, well, I can tolerate this. So I can say, well, when he slap you one time, leave the house. No, I can't say that. Or when he starts bringing women home, leave. No, I can't tell you that. What you can take and the boundary that you've set for yourself would determine when you say, no, I can't take this anymore. I think that answer is good enough for our caller.
Thank you very much, Dr. O. You've been really, hitting the questions on the head for the last half an hour now. In fact, you already gone into a question I want to ask you now,
Okay.
and this is a very African question. Okay, I know you live in the U.S. I live in the United Kingdom. A lot of people have said that polygamy is a major problem. And now it's been broken down to side chicken and side cocking and all these other things we hear.
Yeah.
And some women will tell you that if men can practice polygamy, then a woman can also practice what we call polyandry. So, and some people will tell you, oh, polygamy is these things are no longer tenable. But because it's no longer tenable, you see a lot of men and women having side chicks and having side cocks. So, what is the role of this particular issue in the scamming of marriage and in the reality of marriage? I want you to throw some light on this as a counselor yourself.
Okay, polygamy. Is it a sin? That's always the first question I ask people. Is it a sin? No, I don't think so. I don't think so. But this is it. You know, we're talking about Abraham, we're talking about Jacob, we're talking about people in the Bible, right? Majority of us are Christians and some are Muslims. The Muslim, they already accepted polygamy. But the funny thing is, these days, I see more Christians getting into polygamy more than even the Muslims that allows it. I always tell people, if you know you are man enough to marry two wives, can you please go ahead and tell your wife you want to marry another wife? Because the problems that we bring to our lives for this hide and seek is what I call it. they're not necessary, and is killing destinies. There are children outside of the homes that the wife doesn't know about. There are Why? Somebody asked me, can you marry somebody with a, if I feel like if I'm in love with that person, I never support polygamy, but I always tell men, I have a wife at home. I'll tell you, go and tell your wife. And then we'll both talk to your wife. Like, okay, your husband wants, sounds funny, but you want to marry me, right? And you are married, and the madam is still at home. Fine. You will go and tell madam that you see a beautiful flower that you want to pluck. Can you bring her home? If your madam accepts me, and if I love you, yes, I don't do any hide and seek. And I think what is killing us is the hide and seek. If you want to marry two wives, marry two wives. Let the two women know. Let the children know that they have siblings, that they have step sisters. The problem springing from these things is I'm a typical African. I'm very, very spiritual. It's too much dealing as a prophetess and dealing as a counselor. I see a lot that breaks my heart. Why are you putting these children through this? Because you both adults decided to do this. The wife at home doesn't even know anything. Now you have kids. They don't know that they have other siblings. Men die before the family knows that they have kids outside. Okay, if you can afford it, why don't you let the other person know? Why don't you, for me, that's the way I see it. And the fact is, it's not everybody that will be in a normal or regular marriage setting. So we're Africans. Go and marry the second wife instead of bringing I don't even know what to do it. I mean, it breaks my heart because I know what I see in counseling all the time. So polygamy, I'm not going to come online and say, oh, it is bad, it is a sin. No, we are
God bless you,
already
madam.
practicing it. We're
God
already
bless you.
practicing it. So go ahead, let people know. If I fall in love with a married man now, as long as you tell me we're going to go home and tell you what, I don't need to live with you. I don't need to live in the same house. Some women cannot do that setting, but at least he knows if she knows if he can't find her husband is in Busola's house.
God bless
I
you,
know
madam.
if I know I can't find Kule. Kule is with Elijah in the house.
Mm.
Just do it right. Honestly, I know some people will send me messages on what I'm saying, but I mean, I'm very, very blunt. We're already practicing it. So let us practice
Make it official.
with a fear of God in mind.
And everybody will
Okay?
make heaven.
And yeah, God, you can't lose heaven because you marry two wives. No, I don't believe that. It's the same. It's those things. I think we need to do things from the mind of God. You want to do something. Okay, why do you want to marry a second wife? Ask yourself that question. Is it just sex? Or is it this person that you met is bringing something else into your life? Or are you going to help our own purpose? It shouldn't be just about sex. But pretty much, it's all about sex for a lot of people. And I think that's why, yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. O. Comrade,
Doctor,
I see the way you are just nodding to what Doctor is saying.
my
So
brother,
take the mic and ask the question.
this Dr. O is under anointing, to be honest. And it's a divine anointing. Because these are the realities. Doctor, to be honest with you, for most of what you've said, I do agree with, a lot of them. But there are a few I still have some.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because and I want to tailor my question along that line. You've initially established that your teaching right now is majorly based on the Christian tradition, but I'm glad too that you've acknowledged that we have other religious traditions like the Islamic tradition and all of that have accepted. So, is it fair to say that most of what you're talking about right now can actually be considered to be subjective, depending on those practicing it? Because In reference to the time of our fathers and our grandfathers and grandparents and all of that, society was better. Marriage was more stable.
Yeah.
Now, so many rules have evolved to guide marriage. Too many, rules about emancipation, my right, not losing my identity, and all of that. And the more these rules come to fall, and people tend to practice along, these new rules, the more we are having, more, what's it called, broken homes and all of that. That is one. The second aspect is this, which is a question: why is this that in this day and age, people put a lot more effort in the ceremony of wedding and marriage and don't put any effort in the marriage itself? So how do we, from you, how do we create that enabling balance to make marriage last better for society to be, more improved?
About the elaborate weddings and ceremonies. I mean, it is what people want. I mean, it is what it is. Um, I've never had a big wedding. I don't really believe in that. I tell my clients all the time, if you're gonna go hungry after a wedding, why spend all that money? Sometimes it's all about making a statement. It's all about pepper them gang, if you know that slang. Why? What's your reason to want to have a big wedding? Oh, because my friend did it, or that's how we do it in our house. If you can afford it, if you have money, do it, enjoy your day to the fullest. But then you should know, like, if you cannot spend 20 million on a wedding and go back to borrowing money to pay for children's school fees, you cannot spend 10 million on a wedding and then you live in a one room. It doesn't make sense. And these are some of the things that brings the problems after the marriage. If you sit down and plan your life very well, it's good to have understanding. I sincerely wish that the church, the mosque, they teach more about this marriage thing. It's been prosperity for decades now. We've just been preaching prosperity. I have friends that are pastors. They will not invite me to their church because of the way that I speak. I'm a realist. I speak the truth. I speak reality because I deal with people on a daily basis. So what I hear, my experiences, is what I preach with. It's not you're gonna get rich. No, you have to work for it. There is a process to getting rich, unless you want to go and do uh, uh, um, rituals, or you want to just do Yahoo. There are process to everything. If you're going to get married, back in the days, let me use Esther in the Bible as an example. At least we read that our cousin prepared her before she went to meet the king. She was already prepared. There are certain things to be done. As a parent, there are certain ways you train your kid for the future. I tell parents all the time, don't just be telling your girls, don't just be training your girls, train your boys too. I have a son. It just gladdens my heart when I see him doing certain things for his girlfriend, when I see him behaving in certain ways. Sometimes when I make fun of him, he'll be like, well, you taught me all that. And I'll feel so happy because I don't want a child to be calling me when I'm already enjoying my life. And then I'll be the counselor and the mother at the same time. No, get it right. Do things right. Train your own children. Especially those of us that were trained, disciplined. Give that same tool, give that same skill to your own children. Some adults are not trained, so I don't blame them. They don't know. You can't give what you don't have. There are counselors, there are coaches. Get invest in your life. We don't invest in marriages. We don't invest in marriages. We don't do counseling. We don't go for counseling. The church, when you go for counseling, I'll be asking clients, did you talk about this in premarital marriage and stuff? No. Did you talk about sex? No. Okay, now you're married, you just realize your husband doesn't like sex or your wife doesn't like sex. Why? What is the reason that she doesn't like sex? A lot of people have been through a lot of things. So just sit down before you say I do. honestly, the way I love marriage, sit down together, talk, communicate, tell each other what you want, how you want it. And you know what? It's better to break up than divorce. There's no sweet divorce. So no matter how you look at it, there's no sweet divorce. It affects you in some way, especially with kids along the line. So if you're still single, you have an edge. You have time to do things over. You have time to make things right for you. Think about your future, the peace of mind. I can go on and on this.
Madam, just as a follow-up, before you call me Dr. Agbons, Madam, from what you've just said now, because the Christian tradition, they do preach that it is not good to test the ground before the marriage proper, to wait until after the wedding. No, but you have just draw attention to the fact
that one is fornication, no?
Oh, you see that I laughed,
Let Madam answer that, because Madam just said that. I mean, how can you not be discovering in marriage that your husband or your wife?
Let me tell the truth that I know. How many people that call themselves Christians, how many people wait until after marriage?
Less than 10%.
Yeah, true.
And even the ones that wait, you get to marry. You know what? I won't come here and say go and test the ground. I preach abstinence too. I mean, I was telling somebody, I said I'm celibate. Really? Yeah, it's my decision. It's my decision. When I know, when I've done all my research, when I know that okay, I want to be with this person. You learn every day. We all make mistakes. We all do things. Yeah, I can't blame anybody.
We lost the network there. This is a very good question before Dr. O comes back. Lamte, Comrade Oriahi. It's a very good question you have asked.
It's very important because
testing the ground first. Yeah.
It's
a very good question. Pharmacist, I was going to come to you to ask your question, but we can discuss this matter before Dr. O network comes back.
Absolutely. I think since he took that moment, because my next question was going to be on sex.
Yeah.
But my aspect of sex was to talk about sex in marriage itself. That was what I was going to ask her. But like she said, I can tell you less than 10% of people are among that category that don't have sex before marriage.
Okay.
I think she's back. Yes.
I think Dr. O is back. Yeah, before Dr. O continues, I just want to, one of our viewers have put a question, boyfriend and girlfriend. Let me just clarify this. You see, when we use this word girlfriend and boyfriend, for most of us who are Africans, there's a way, when I got to the UK, it took me time to understand it. When you say boyfriend, girlfriend, does it just mean that they already started having sex and all that? It means that the person who is your friend is a boy or is a girl. So I just want to say that to our brother, Ima Okoye. So I hope you get that. Dr. O, you were on a trajectory. Please, if you can continue, ma.
Okay, I was talking about, abstinence.
Yes.
It is what it is. We Christians, we lie a lot. We're liars. I don't lie, So you are grown adults. You are in your 30s or 40s or 50s. And you're saying you're practicing abstinence when you are in relationship with somebody. In the Bible days, they were virgins, right? Guess what? They were teenagers. So, some things, I'm not saying go out and have sex. It is left on you to want to know.
Is it a crime in the Christian religious tradition?
Is it a crime?
Yes. Is it a sin?
You know what? Is it a sin? Well, if you read the Bible, it says it's fornication.
Yeah.
Because you're not married to this person.
Yeah, it's fornication.
So we'll call it fornication. If you read in the Bible, and if we have to call that, you understand what I'm saying? It is fornication because
that means everybody's not going to make it. Nobody's going to make it eventually.
See, how many of us are going to make heaven? But then in the Bible, they don't engage and then wait for 1 year to get married, to go and do celebration. They engage. You see a child, you see a daughter of you see Tony's daughter, and it's like, I want this girl for my son. Both families come together, they do introduction, they do engagement, the Jews, they sit down and do a family thing. Boom! Marriage has begun. That's marriage. It's not like, okay, introduction, you do engagement, you waiting 3, 4, 5 years to somebody you've engaged to before you do an elaborate
So,
marriage.
so invariably, what you're saying that the tradition established by the Bible, the practice then is different from
It's
now.
different from what we're practicing. It is different. It is different. We're adults. We don't marry as teenagers now. We are adults. So you've already grown. You are outgrown. Some of us
So,
we
so,
even pass
so,
the
so
biological.
is it therefore fair to say that the postulations of the Bible or what the Bible established did not put into consideration what life will be today?
No,
No.
I don't think.
Um.
Let me come here, Doctor O. I don't want us
Yeah.
to take this discussion because I'm moderating
Into
to a
Bible. Yeah.
religious so that
Yeah.
we don't alienate people. So we take this
Yeah.
phone call.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Because this area is very important. It's the cross of the cocoa in the matter. Hello, sir. Oh,
Yes.
man.
Hello, hello.
Hello. Good evening, man.
Good evening. I'm calling from the UK.
What's your name?
From Manchester. I have a question. I might be taking you back a little.
What's your name, madam?
My name is Omoife.
Omoife from Manchester.
Yes.
Go ahead, man.
Yes. I might be taking you back a little. I want to ask a question because you initially said polygamy, if it's not sex, at least you should be able to bring something to the table. And I'm asking, as you initially talked about emotional abuse or mental abuse, that might be bringing mental abuse to the woman she met one, and it causes a sort of rivalry within the children. I don't know. She could touch on that a little more for me to understand.
Mama, she talked about agreements before. Anyway, go ahead, Dr. O.
Okay,
I talked about agreements, and that's why I said if the man is man enough, I mean, it's gonna initially, of course, definitely, it will cause some emotional trauma and all that. But as a woman, and that's why I said, how you set boundaries for yourself and your tolerance level is different. If my husband is gonna bring a woman now, I'll sit down and think about it properly. Either I say yes or not. Especially those of them that will come with pregnancy. What are you gonna do? She's already pregnant. Are you gonna say no? Even if he doesn't bring him home, you already have a woman outside that your husband may even abandon the house for. So instead of him to abandon me at home, I'm talking about me, will accept this woman. I can't live under the same roof with another woman. That's me. But at least I know that we have a child outside. If he's going to marry her, I know he's going to marry her. Some men will be like, oh, it's a mistake. And truly, well, when you go outside on the street and score, he probably didn't intend to have another child. But as a child now, I'm a pro-life. I will never say go about that baby if you want to come back home. That's a child. Accept that child. If the man says, I don't want to marry her, but I want my baby, there's nothing you can do. If you say no, that's when you begin to give yourself unnecessary emotional, mental torture, psychologically, because that child is already involved in your life. The earlier you accept it, the better for your own mental stability. Otherwise, you just realize, and that's what happens most of the time. And the reason some men will not come home and say, hey, I have done it, oh, what? I have a child. Because they know, he knows you. He knows the kind of woman that is married to. So he would rather not kill himself or that baby or that woman and remain silent. For the kind of person that I am, I would rather want to know and know what I'm dealing with. Deal with my emotion and mental and be stabilized about it and accept it. So if you say it's giving you mental torture or emotional torture or whatever, that's one woman that you know. Some men are decent there. Things happen. You just have to accept it. Some men are dogs. Apart from Busola that is pregnant, he's sleeping about 5 of them outside. You understand? So you have to know who you're dealing with. Some things are not yes and no answers. Basic. And that's the reality that we live in.
I think I love the fact that Dr. O understand the very meaning of there's love in sharing. And that's what she has just, told us here.
Comrade,
Don't
comrade,
quote me.
comrade,
Don't.
comrade. I think you are having a vested interest in this discussion. So I'm going to move to because
I'm suspecting you.
yeah, thank you. He doesn't know that he's talking to a prophetess. So anyway, we are rounding up now because Dr. O has got a program.
I think we have to bring her back. It's very important.
Yeah, but us, Pharmacist Remiran, your final question to Dr.
Yeah.
O.
Well, thank you so much, Dr. Tony Agbons. I cannot agree with you less. We need to bring her back.
Yes.
I must say, I like the practicality with which she answered the question. In the local palace, we say she's eating it very hard. But Dr. O, whether you are in a hurry or not, I must ask you this question.
That's okay.
I am happily married and I love sex. I love it very much.
Yeah.
And I know you've talked about intimate issues.
Yeah.
At what point will it be a crime when some women complain that this man is asking for too much sex? Or some women also complain that the man is giving them less sex. What is the role of that sex in modern day marriage?
Good question.
Very good question.
Mara, please, before you go into this question, I just want to add, an annex to it, an addendum to this same question. In these days, I don't know if it was previously, there are instruments of sex or elements of sex or aspects of it that some people refuse to do, and it creates a challenge. For instance, in very local parlance, some people say lick plate. Some men, because they are old-fashioned or where they are coming from, they were never baptized into plate licking. They now get married to women who actually love plate licking. And so, I've had issues like that come to me because I'm a community leader myself. You understand what I'm saying now? And so I just wanted to add it to this part of this question.
So this plate licking, is it on both sides, both the plate and the sponge and everything?
I think
Dr. O will tell us.
Okay.
Dr. O will tell us.
So please go ahead. These are
All
two questions now. One from the pharmacist, one from comrade.
Okay. It is very, very important. Either you're young people just getting married or old people like me, it is very important to sit down and talk about sex. You know what? If you're gonna do it, why not open your mouth and talk about it? Talk about sex. Sit down. Let him know what you like. Let him know how you like it. Let her know what you like. If you like for your woman to play with the microphone, let her know. Some women will not do that.
No, hold on, Doctor. Microphone. What is microphone, please?
Just in case I have kids.
Okay.
Look, watching, so I'm trying to code. Okay. We're all adults, you know what I'm talking about. If you, as a woman, like your plate to be licked, let him know. So you are not surprised when you're already in the marriage. Like, no, some women will be like, ew, I can't do that. No, I can't touch that. Some men will be like, sit down, I love talking about sex. I love talking about sex. It's therapeutic, it's good. You just don't get to bed before you start doing it. Talk about it before you get on that bed. You understand? So when it's too much, everybody have their own limits. So if you have sex with your partner every day, is that too much? No.
Yeah, tell them.
Sincerely, it makes you younger. It does some things in you. When you see a woman that hasn't had sex in a long time, I'm not happy because my face doesn't say that I haven't had sex in a long time. When you're happy, when you are happy and you're having sex, people can tell. Sometimes I look at women like, when was the last time you had sex? Because you're too cranky for my liking. So when it's too much, unless that person is a sex addict, we have some sex addicts, but you will know there are certain things, there are traits. We don't have time for going into details. But before you can say your partner is a sex addict, then you will see the way he asks for it, Maybe somebody just has sex. You have sex at 5 a.m. I got up trying to get ready for church. I'm already dressed for church, and you say I won't leave the house until you have another sex. Are you all right? Then you may begin to think this man, something is wrong with him. That may be some kind of too much, because now you are allowing sex. An addiction is when you allow something to control you. That's an addiction. If that man or woman is not an addicted person, then enjoy each other. You know why? Biologically, we age. You get to a certain point in life that you just have to hold each other, you pleasurize each other in different ways. So when you can still do it, enjoy it. It helps you look younger.
Thank you very
Have
much.
I answered the question?
Very good answer, ma. Very good answer. So we are rounding up now because you are running off to another program. I want to ask you this. This is the final question, and then you can go, ma. What the role of money in marriage? They say the Bible. Yeah, I don't want to even quote the Bible because I always like to keep discussions like this very general.
Don't let us go into the
So I
Bible. You
just
see
wanted
that
very briefly, ma. It's often said that money has been a very dangerous part of, the scam and the reality of marriage. I want you to just talk briefly on this before you leave, ma.
Money is very, very important. Very, very important. I cannot emphasize that enough. I know that now as a grown adult. I post it on Facebook all the time. People will be like, "Doctor, when did you become this?" Trust me, it's a journey. I've traveled this far to know that I cannot marry a poor man at my age. I mean, I would not say that to a 25-year-old. They're just starting life. They have potential. They can build on the potential. But don't go and marry a man without skill or education. Even as young as you are, as single as you are, and you're just starting life, you must know that this person has potential. Don't start your marriage on being broke. You must have something to build on. So you will not, so one millionaire will not come and be sleeping with your wife on the side. It is the reality of life. This is my job. I know what I'm talking about. Make sure that that person, that woman that you want to marry, have potential. Even when you have your own money, things happen. Millionaires become carboniers. As a grown adult, I don't want to marry potential at this age. I don't even want to have a relationship with a potential. You must have made your own money. At 51, I cannot start and begin to think, how are we going to pay the bills? It will cause conflict. You see that love, we have sex, you will be fine. And then you begin to think, you will begin to stress that you will not even want to have sex. You will begin to stress that you will see your partner, you will begin to resent him or her. So money, it is very, very important. Inflation is everywhere now. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the substance that you have. You must have something. If I'm gonna be with somebody now, you marrying, I cannot be a burden to you. You are lucky to have me. I have my own thing that will make money for me. Either you're there or not, I should be able to feed myself. Either I have a man or not, I should be able to have a roof over my head. Either I have a man or not, I should be able to take care of my own needs. So when God brings that man, I tell men, if you cannot pamper me, don't even talk to me. I have enough to feed me. I have enough to pay my mortgage. I have enough. I'm not going to be waiting to bring your own car before I go out. So I have the basic things that I need. I still have a little surplus to help other people. So if you're coming, I cannot marry poverty. I cannot marry potential. So you have to know who you are, what you want, your purpose. A man cannot just come now and sit down and be expecting me, oh, your mother is sick. I should be the one running around to look for the money. No, I will help you as a woman, but I cannot stress my life at this point in my life. But I cannot tell a 30-year-old woman the same thing. She's still young. She's still trying to aspire. A lot of 30-year-old have their own money. They're professionals. Women in this age, they are very, very audacious. They make money. You can hardly see can hardly see most women that I know, they're very, very audacious. They are go-getter. So if you're going to marry somebody like that, don't bring your own poverty into our life. Some women don't mind to spend their money on men. I have done that in the past. As a 51-year-old woman, I would not marry that kind of a person. So you have to know what you want, your boundary. You have to set your boundary. So by the time you get to the point, I have a boyfriend now, you ask me money the first time, I may think, oh, Tony is he just need that money. We've been friends. We bought things for each other. We've gone out. Then, okay, you just quickly need some money. You will not call me that you want to buy tires for your car. And I'll be thinking, am I insane? I'm the insane one, oh. I'm the one that my head is not correct, oh. Are you getting my point? But you say something reasonable. You can be a business person. Sometimes I need money, like really need money so bad. So if I ask my boyfriend, like, you know what, I'm doing this deal, or I need to invest this money, or I need to do this about my business, I need 5 million. I want that kind of man. Okay, this is a loan. Yes, of course, it's for business. But then you're calling me for 100,000 today. Tomorrow you need 50,000 to buy grocery. Am I insane? It's not the crazy one. I am the crazy one. Because now I will begin to stress myself. I will begin to resent him. If I continue that relationship, love will begin to fly out of the way. We have to be realistic in some things that we do. I don't want to be just a missus. I want to be a missus to something that I know I want, for something that will fit in my purpose. Why should a man be stressing me out for money now? Then my head is not right. Then I'm not all right. So how you need money, the kind of money you need depends on where you are in your life. I have suffered all the suffering that I wanted to suffer as a younger person. If I begin to do the same thing now, then I'm the insane one.
Thank you.
So money in any relationship, please know who you are, know where you're going before you begin to lock yourself down with somebody. Both ways, men and women.
Thank you.
Dr. Agbos, just before you come in, Dr. Olubosola, thank you so very much. We cannot wait to bring you to this program, another time. I just quickly want to ask this. You've been talking to us, and I'm just like, wow. It's so enriching to hear from you, and you've even gone ahead to write books. You're doing a lot on woman emancipation and stuff like that, love and marriage, and all of that. And you even wrote this book, Unmasking the Soul. What is this about? Just 2 minutes, man.
Okay,
Unmasking the Soul.
This particular book is basically about domestic abuse. I call it abuse. I don't want to use that word violence, because when we hear violence, it's like, oh, she was beaten, oh, he was beaten. No, abuse. Physical, psychological, mental, emotional, is everything that I wrote in this book. How you can know if you're going through it, what to do, the steps to go out, the steps to get out. It's a complete book, and I give it to people. Even, from age 12, I give it to them.
Wow.
Buy it. Everybody must read this book. Yeah.
Where can we get this book? I know a lot of our viewers may want to. Is it on Amazon, on any of
It's on
these?
Amazon. Just type my name or the title. It's on Amazon. And then if you're in Nigeria, we have it in my office in Nigeria. I'm trying to see how I can get it to the bookstore and all that. I was just eager to publish it. And my publisher was just one hell of a publisher. Like, this book, people must read it. The moment he read the script, like Dr. O, I don't care what it takes. I will even use my own money. This book must be published as fast as possible. And that's what he did. So you can go on Amazon and buy it. If you're in the US, inbox me. I can send my signed copy. If you're in Nigeria, I have it in my office in Nigeria.
Thank you so much, Dr. O.
Yes.
I actually look forward to having you here today, and you have not, and true to type, you have been as blunt as ever. I've known you for some years now. You don't hold back. You say it as it is, and it's the reason a lot of people really find it difficult to say, this woman always say it. So I want to thank you so much. You are a very busy woman, I know that. And thank you for honoring our invitation. On behalf of the team here at the Comrade Show, we really appreciate you. Your final message to all your fans and all our viewers. Final message, man.
Okay, final message. This is what I talk about all the time. Purpose. If you can't remember everything that I've said in 1 hour, because I know I run my mouth a lot. Purpose. What is my purpose in life? Know who you are. When you know your purpose, then you can plan very well. Your purpose will determine the kind of person you marry to. Your purpose will determine the kind of circle you get yourself into. The purpose that you have, that you know for sure, would determine how you live your life. It is very, very important. I cannot emphasize that enough, because when you know your purpose, now I didn't know it before me that I'm talking. Now I know it. So I'm very, very particular. I'm very, very patient to the kind of men that I talk to. I'll just ask you one question and know that this one I can't date him. So you need to know you for you to be able to bring somebody into your life, for you to be able to be with the right person that will complement your life. So that's my final advice for you. I guess I'll see you next time. My show, The Intimate Issues with Dr. Ho, I do it on Facebook. I've had a break for 1 year. I know a lot of people have been saying, when are you coming back? I'm coming back very, very soon.
Thank you, ma. Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, the comrades. I'll be glad to come back again. I like to be in the midst of men.
You must come back.
Thank you so much.
Definitely.
Yeah.
We'll arrange another meeting. Thank you so much, man. God bless you.
It's been a pleasure.
And
Thank you
remarks
so
to
very
everybody over there in America. Say us where to
I
them.
will.
And don't forget, greet President Joe Biden for us.
I will. God bless you.
God bless you, man.
Bye.
Thank you so very much.
Yes.
Bye for now.
Comrade, I will hand over to you now for the second part of the show.
Yes. Honestly, I don't even know what to say next. Do we still have a second part?
Yeah, we do.
We have about 15 minutes.
About 15 minutes
Yes.
left.
I think this.
Yeah, go on.
No, I think the second part actually is supposed to be, road to 2023.
Yes.
This marriage matter is still part of the road to 2023, because at the end of the day, we want marriages to be, to be stable. When we have, stable marriages across Nigeria, people will decide well, the future of this country. And now that Olubusola has, taken us through some of the dynamics of having, stable relationships and all of that, particularly when it comes to marriage, I'm hoping that Nigerians will, watch this broadcast, learn from Olubusola. Many of them who are not yet obedient can actually begin to see reasons why they should be obedient. Because at the end of the day, the family is the most major component unit of national stability, and we want stable families all across Nigeria, and that's what Peter Obi is looking out for. That's what he's chasing. It's part of the reason why he's wanting to become president of Nigeria. So most recently, the big news is that His Excellency, Peter Gregory Obi, of course, announced to the world that he has chosen a running mate. And that is what is making the round right now. And that is the big news. And of course, the running mate is a man that Nigerians are getting to know very much now. Yusuf Dati, you can see his photo out there. He's from Kaduna, if I'm not mistaken. A young man, 51-year-old. An excellent human being in himself. He's done very well for himself. He's a professional. In their case currently, we don't have issues of certificate missing. Academic excellence, between the two of them is, it's remarkable. They have very viable track records in business, in everything. And most of all, these men, they are men of integrity. So I honestly believe that, given the news of having this running mate of Peter Obi, the hope for Nigeria of tomorrow, the hope for a new Nigeria is just getting closer. Particularly looking at, the inconsistency, already embracing the establishments that we've had that have, taken Nigeria down this route, of nearly hitting the rocks at the moment. So I think all effort right now should be beamed at Peter Obi, and every Nigerian right now should be usefully obedient to the cause. So I don't know what you guys have to say talking about this running mate, but I just I wanted to establish that framework. Then we can take it from there. Over to you, Doctor. Pharmacist Remiran.
Thank you so much, CNC. I think when that announcement came, was it Thursday or Friday? He gave a sound of a very beautiful fresh air.
Absolutely.
Imagine in my time, somebody about my age will become vice president, and not too far from my age to be president. That is lovely. You can see the uniqueness, the dynamism, the youthfulness that these two people will bring to fore. I am a man that likes education. If I wasn't educated, probably I won't be here today talking to you. I will be privileged to see so many people. First time in history, we're having two people, president and vice president, to be in the next few months with good CV in terms of education. Their brains are already well screwed and they know where they are going to. This is a unique opportunity. I like it. I feel it. I see it. I'm about to touch it. And I hope 2023 will just give us that. This man is a compliment to Peter Obi. And like Dr. O said, their marriage is not for completeness, but for complement. And that is what Nigeria needs at the moment. I am happy to be part of this movement. Obi Dati forever.
God bless you, my brother. Dr. Agbons, I'm not going to ask you to speak, to this matter of, there's another experience. On the 4th of this month, 3 of us, we were privileged, to have been invited to meet with incoming President Peter Obi. As a matter of fact, that's what we addressed him when we met him the first time in London. I just wanted to share, your experience on that very day when we met with the incoming president in London. I'm just showing pictures of 3 of us with him, and all of that. I have done a broadcast to share my own experience generally, just briefly. How did you feel, and what is your perception of this man, incoming President Peter Obi?
My brother, Comrade Lamptey, I will tell you that, like you rightly said, we met with incoming President Peter Obi at the special grace of God on the holy day, 4th July 2022 in London. In fact, I never still recover from that meeting. I was wowed by the humility, the simplistic persona, and the compassionate. In fact, I'm very, very rarely I fall short of adjective. I can't describe him. It was a rare opportunity to see a leader we can trust.
Yeah.
Like you said in your broadcast after our meeting, although financially endowed, and many people may not even know this, Mr. Obi has been a billionaire for many years. This is a former chairman of Fidelity Bank, and he's chairman of some other companies. He's seen it all. The humility he displayed. You remember, Comrade, we were sitting down, and he knew we were there. He knew,
yes.
because
he spoke to
the
that.
meeting has been arranged. So, and we were just chatting, and incoming President Peter Obi walked to us.
Yeah.
In fact, he was even the one
who he made us feel comfortable.
He stretched his hand, and you can even see him stooping. In fact, I had to stoop myself, and you and the pharmacist, the same thing. I was like, wow. So, in fact, his aura, it charmed me. And like you were even discussing with him, and one thing I want to mention, Peter Gregory Obi is a great listener. He was listening to us. He listens. And this is what is lacking in many of our leaders. They are the one always talking to you. But in his case, I remember while you were speaking, he was just looking at you with rapt attention, listening to you, and he responded in same. Because some people, let me tell you, I've met a lot of big men in Nigeria, politicians and all that. When you are talking to them, when they are responding, they will be saying something else.
Yeah.
And as a communication expert, you will just know that. So this person, they listen to me since. But that was not the case with His Excellency Peter Gregory Obi. My brother, if we begin talk of Obi matter, another program will start. Let me leave the mic for my brother.
Pharmacist Remiran, we did have a chat, while we were waiting for His Excellency to arrive. We spoke about that day. And I told you personally that after the meeting, we spent some time with him. As a matter of fact, he left, our meeting to go catch his flight to Nigeria. And he did mention it on Arise Television when he was granting an interview the very next day or so, that he was in London. He met with people who called him incoming president. And I was just laughing because we were the ones who were actually calling him incoming president in that particular meeting. But coming from Cyril Mira, how did you feel? I like that followers of the Comrade Show get to extend this feeling to them, and the reason why we are even more resolved now to keep making the case that the next president of this country must be Peter Obi, nilly willy. How did you feel, and what crystallized in your mind? But before you respond, let me quickly play this message to Nigerians, because while he was leaving, he did leave this message for Nigerians and obedient supporters all across the world. Let's take a listen just before you come on.
Hello. Let me most sincerely thank all of you for what you're doing. Let us continue the good work on the way able to build a better Nigeria for our children and for everybody.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
That's the incoming president, President Peter Obi. Pharmacist Remira. We had the long discussion even before this clip, before he left. How would you appraise your feeling and of course the expectation? What should Nigerians expect from this man that you encountered one-on-one?
Thank you so much, Comrade Bosa. Remember, making this arrangement, we got it at short notice. And it was expedient that we needed to be there. So many, all of us shared very important things that we had to do to make sure we were present. So as humans, even though we believed in him and we knew him, we were feeling a bit, we don't know how this will turn out. And alas, when he walked in, it blew all of us. I don't want to take the glory, but I must. Among three of us, I was the first person that he shook his hands.
I remember.
So I was standing. I wasn't expecting him to come directly, but I was there. And as soon as he brought his hand to my side, I was surprised. And as I was shaking his hand, like Tony said, he was stooping his head low, even for me. Because as soon as he came, he said, I know these are people that are waiting for me. Yes. So for me, that shows humility, which is not new, because a lot of people have said it before. And whilst he was leaving us in the hotel to go to the room, to go to catch his train to the airport, he showed another sense of humility. There were about one or two people standing with him, but this man rolled his bag and was going straight to take the underground to go to the airport. So he showed absolute humility. And I think that is what we need at this moment. And above all, I think he's a friendly man. And Tony has said it. He's a guy that listens. Because he listened to what we're talking about. He was also willing to contribute. He was not lost. His phone was not ringing. We were not just the other person. And I think that is what it's going to bring to Nigeria. And since that event, I must tell you, Tony Agbons and CNC, my phone has been ringing. And people have been asking me, what was happening? Give me his number. How did you meet him and all that stuff? So I think in the course of his campaign, he's even going to do more and meet so many people. My brother, Dr. Tony Agbons and CNC, this is our moment. Moment to get Nigeria right. And Peter Gregory Obi is the man. He has a wow factor. If you meet him, you will have that discussion with him. For those that haven't met him, he has already met them even in the spiritual realm. I know sometimes you like to be very spiritual. He was very simple. And I was looking seriously at his shoes. He looked to me like it's the shoes that he's been wearing. He was absolutely simple. Humility personified even in his dressing. I think we are set for greater glory with Peter Obi. Humility, education, even though he's wealthy, is very important. And this guy assumes it.
Yeah, he does all of that. Thank you very much, my brother. You know, I'll say it, you know. It's common knowledge. You know, after his Arise interview, I rang him. You know, we spoke immediately. I mentioned my name. He recognized, like I already, told you guys. You know, when you're talking about his humility, you know, he's not forgetful. He knows and recognizes every event, everything. As soon as I introduced myself in that call after his arrest TV, just to commend him, of course he remembered, he picked up the discussion from where we stopped, like I already reported back. And of course he urged us on to ensure that we keep the home front, alive. You understand what I'm saying? That this vision, must be realized. Dr. Agbons, I have not asked you. Yusuf Dati is currently the running mate, hopefully the incoming vice president of Nigeria. And he's been granting interviews himself, okay, and all of that. And the whole world of Nigeria has been talking about Yusuf Dati, the incoming president. How do you appraise this choice? Particularly when there was the expectation that it was going to be Kwankwaso. At some point, that negotiation broke down, and from the blues, on the 8th of this month, which was on Friday, Yusuf Dati was unveiled as the running mate of incoming President Peter Obi. Now, looking at all of this, put them in perspective for me, and let Nigerians, have an inkling into what they should expect in 2023 from these two very, pragmatic professionals, well prepared for the job.
Thank you very much, comrade. And I thank you, my brother, pharmacist Austin Remira. I want to also tell you something, Austin. When we were taking those photographs, you were the one that was also more closer. You were very close to His Excellency Peter Obi. So yeah. I think I think there's a picture. I think I was close to him here. There's a picture you were very, very shoulder to shoulder with His Excellency. So I'll come and collect my obedient anointing later. Pharmacist, I will come to your house. So Absolutely. Now, to your question that you asked me, there have been a lot of hula baloo about the choice of a VP for His Excellency Peter Obi. And he couldn't have been better, especially looking at the track record of Senator Dati Baba Ahmed. And there is even a new lexicon in town. They said, Nigerians, be useful and obedient so that you eat the good of the land. Isaiah chapter 1 and verse 8 or 18. I can't remember the verse now. I think it's 8 or 18. So usefulness have come in to obedience. And look, some of us have gone to dig. We've gone to the archives. Who is this man? And like you have said, comrade, he's a distinguished professional. High time we get, we go beyond having mediocrity. Yeah. Mediocres have been running the show in Nigeria. That is why we are where we are. Yes. People who don't know anything, they don't know their left from their right. And I always tell this to people. When we talk about education, people, their mind always go to degree. We're not talking of degree. We're talking of education that is in and out. And when you hear even Dati Baba Ahmed speaking, you see a man who is very strict. In fact, I've called some of my friends, classmates in the north. I said, nah, how this man? They said the man, in fact, the stinginess will go to Nigeria from 2023. One kobo not going to drop anywhere. The man is so strict, he's firm, man of few words, doesn't talk much. He may not be very fluent and be speaking all the nice grammar, but he's a go-getter. So, my brother, we can't get it wrong. We are in for a good time.
No. Yeah.
Nigeria is on the path to greatness with these two people and the team. And you keep saying the way himself and Peter Obi they talk. They say the team they are going to assemble. like we say in Benin, they are not going to be kekebo. You're going to be a solid team. My brother, we just talk little by little because of time. I will stop here.
Thank you very much. Anyway, we will definitely subsequently in other programs, we will keep on hammering on this. Nigerians across the world, please, let's be aware. This is the team, that will take over the ASU Rock. That's Peter there. Peter Miss Rock. And we expect Peter the Rock to be in ASU Rock come 2023. And please, we must start now. Voters education. The party to voted for this is the symbol. No longer broom, no longer umbrella. It is human beings. Papa, mama, and Peking. That is what everybody should look out for. It's important. Let's keep teaching our parents, our brothers and sisters in the village. Very important. Another very important thing I want to talk about, where we're not going to discuss this just by way of information, is that the Labour Party of Nigeria, they've now established, registered, the Labour Party Europe chapter and the UK chapter. Okay, and I am not a member of Labour Party, but because I'm an obedient, supporter, I am working very closely with them to get this, vision realized. And I've told them, I mean, I have been raised and I've pledged my support to the Labour Party, particularly to support Peter Obi. But I must establish that I'm not a member of the Labour Party. This gives me, the privilege and the opportunity to be able to support any other person for any other position from any other political party of, in future. You understand the picture of what I'm saying? However, I want to announce that Labour Party Europe is already established. It's been funded, is registered, and as a matter of fact, they are officially going to be inaugurated on the 22nd of this month. Some officials of Labour Party will be coming from Nigeria. I think I understand that Patutomi may be part of the delegation that will be coming to inaugurate them. So if you are in the UK, you are in Europe, you want to attend this event, please reach out to us. We can direct you. Look at it, inauguration of the Labour Party of Nigeria Europe chapter. So the information is out there. So if you're in the UK, you want to be part of this event, reach out to us. We'll give you all the information, that you require, the venue, the people to call to, give you further directions and all of that. Very likely, I will be there. Very likely some of us will be there, to, observe the occasion, because duty calls and we need to, follow up with this duty. That is everything that we can do to, bring about the emergence of Peter Obi as the president of Nigeria, we will do. Okay, and all of that. But I'm just trying to establish that I am not a member, as a matter of none of us here, we are not members of any political party. We are just good Nigerians promoting and projecting what is best for Nigeria. So be aware, if you want to join Labour Party, please, for the sake of incoming President Peter Obi, and you are in Europe, you are in the UK, and if you are in any other part of Europe, you want to be the lead in that part, because every branch of this Labour Party to be set up everywhere across Europe, they must liaise with this central body. It's from this central body that they will be given the blessings to have Labour Party in Italy, Spain, Germany, everywhere all across Europe. So get to us and we'll direct you, better, so that we can we can start setting up these structures as fast as possible. Pharmacist Remiran, I want to give you the honor of bringing this program to a close. We are a bit over the line now, but pharmacist, over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, CNC. You are a man of so many idiosyncrasies. This was not planned, but who am I? When the CNC say go, I go forth. I remain ever obedient. On this 10th day of July 2023, I want to thank Dr. Tony Agbons, who has midwife and anchor to this program, from the issue of marriage that was well taken care of, and for our guest, Dr. Olubusola. Dr. Tony Agbons You are a man of many things. This is one of yours. Thank you so much for your encourage. Thank you so much for all that you do for the Comrade Show. CNC, what do I have to say? Your patriotism knows no band. And of course, to our many viewers and fans who watch us week in, week out, who make comments, especially today on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, thank you for doing that. We also had some few calls that came in the course of today's program. I want to thank Dr. Loretta Boroko, who rang in all the way from Peterborough in United Kingdom. Your contribution and your question was absolutely apt. Thank you so much. I also want to thank Mark Obebo, who also ran from Peterborough, UK as well. Peterborough was on fire today. Thank you for your contribution. You asked a very important and very useful question. I hope Dr. O answered you very well. But thank you so much for your contribution. And for our dear sister, Omoefe, all the way from Manchester, United Kingdom. You asked a very important question. Thanks for ringing in. I hope Dr. O answered you very well. And for our viewers and our many fans who keep us going, I want to say in Benin language, Waya Wesi. I remain your friend and brother, Augustine Iremira. And like Dr. CNC would always say, you have to put comrade. So I dare put comrade Augustine Iremira. Please, marriage is important. Marriage is sacrosanct. Dr. Tony Agbons and indeed CNC has mentioned, marriage will not work if we are not obedient. Nigeria need that marriage now. And obedient is the answer. Stay out of trouble. Have a very good week. Remember, get registered and have your PVC. Until we come your way again next Sunday, stay out of trouble.
Thank you very much. Yes, and just to add this one, Usas Dennis and of course Henry Bakare, we thank you very much for the stars. And of course for others that are sending us stars, may God bless you all. It's been a Comrade Show. We'll see you again when we see you. Definitely. Bye for now.
Comrade Show, wait, Comrade Lamte Oriake. Like us, follow us, and be the first to know. This is the Comrade Show.
Are you a business owner? Do you make your own products? This is your best opportunity ever. Register your brand now with the first and largest marketplace promoting Nigerian-made products. Get access to over 17 million shoppers and customers currently in need of your products. Download on Google Play Store now to register or visit ekioja.com. Focus on creating your passion. Leave the marketing to